Hello everybody, Ben Rogers here, the Raptors Digest, reacting to some frustrating NBA news for two reasons. One of them's kind of funny, one of them's a bit of a meme, but the other one I'm ranting about in this video, and it involves the LA Clippers acquiring Norman Powell. You saw it in the thumbnail, you definitely saw the Woj bombs going around, but the LA Clippers acquired Norman Powell for absolutely nothing. For honestly, they gave negative assets to the Portland Trailblazers to acquire two star role players. And the thing that makes this even more frustrating, not that the LA Clippers are trying to acquire the Raptors 2019 Infinity Stones in hopes that they can recreate the magic and win themselves a championship. Not that. That's not the only infuriating thing, but it's that the Toronto Raptors were rumored to acquire Norman Powell over this past week, and either the Portland Trailblazers are too prideful to trade Norman Powell back to us, or they're too stupid to do a trade that makes absolutely zero sense, even for what they were trying to do. And I'll dive into what they were trying to do and where they fumbled the bag on this in this video, but it's completely frustrating all around. And the Toronto Raptors teammates, they're all reuniting in LA. Kawhi Leonard, Serge Ibaka, and Norman Powell, just like you guys, can reunite in a local Ontario gym now that everything's opened up, because pickup basketball's back. Pick up everything, sports, weightlifting, volleyball, basketball, ball hockey, everything you could possibly want is back. And fortunately for us, fortunately for you guys, Javelin Sports has partnered with us to give you guys some quality deals. And the link for their application is in the description, the pinned comment, and they are going on with a wild promotion right now for you guys that will get you out of the house, will get you back in the gym, give you that extra push, because obviously the most frustrating thing about playing pickup sports, whatever it is, right? It's finding some gym time, right? It's finding the gym time and finding drop-in sessions where there isn't 50-odd people around, and you're struggling to get on the court. You get one run in maybe in 2 hours. Javelin Sports solves all of that. You can book the gyms through the application. You can book your drop-in times through the specific applications. They have locations all over Ontario and soon to be all across Canada. Right? Download the application. They make it seamlessly to book those sessions. And now, your first booking, right? Drop-in sessions, they're usually $5, $6 out here in Newfoundland. When I was in Ontario, it's a similar sort of ordeal. You book any gym you want through the Javelin Sports app, you get $10 off for your first purchase, for your first booking. And if you want to ball out with us, we're dropping it tonight. A code for you guys to join up with the Raptors Digest Javelin Sports group chat, so you guys can play along with us. So some fun stuff there. Download the application. But you want to get in early. You want to get in early because a lot of people are going to be joining this group. It's just how it goes. But guys, I have a rant to go on. I am absolutely fired up in this video because firstly, I sort of said this in the intro. The LA Clippers, they continue to try to acquire all of their players. And honestly, at this point, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Clearly, the first couple years with the LA Clippers, the experiment failed. It was a mess, right? They ended up getting blown out. They flamed out in the playoffs, right? With the first year where they blew a 3-1 lead to the Denver Nuggets. Couldn't even make the LA versus LA hyped up matchup last year. As you'd probably expect when you put your whole sort of franchise ordeal on a guy that needs load management, you're sort of giving it to him, you're sort of not. Paul George, who's had a bunch of surgeries, a bunch of guys that doesn't really make sense, a bunch of guys with injury history, right? They deal with some injuries. I know they make the Western Conference Finals, but not the championship super team expectations everyone thought they'd have when they go down there, right? The LA Clippers, they're failing, and obviously I don't like the LA Clippers if it doesn't come clear in my tone, and they frustrate me even more, right? They fooled up their first year. Right, as soon as Kawhi Leonard joined the Toronto Raptors, they were sending their coach out. They were sending, what was his name? The assistant coach to watch our games to sort of recruit him. He tried to talk to Kawhi, and we just ignore him and all that sort of stuff. But they somehow finessed him to go to the LA Clippers. A horrible decision, but they finessed him into it. And then the season after, they steal away one of our final centers onto the roster, bring him down to the LA Clippers. I know the Raptors fumbled the bag with that contract, and now this season, they're taking away we traded him away, and they're getting him for absolute nothing from the Portland Trailblazers. And I can't blame the LA Clippers, but it's looking a little bit foolish. It's looking a little bit cheese. I want to flame the Clippers any chance I get on these pods. Steam Ballmer, LA Clippers, you're flamed. But Norman Powell just went there and they had to give up some assets. It would be what it was. But that's not why I'm frustrated with this trade. Why I'm frustrated with Norman Powell going to the LA Clippers. The reason I am frustrated is because the Toronto Raptors were rumored to acquire Norman Powell, weren't rumored to be in talks with the Portland Trail Blazers on Norman Powell ever since the Blazers have been letting it out that they might be willing to give up some of their assets, right? We've been rumored to bring back our star shooting guard, a guy that shot 45% from us last season, right? We were rumored. But then days go by, nothing really happens. Raptors fans are questioning. We didn't make a video on it, but we did drop it and, name drop it in some of the podcasts. And then a Woj bomb. A Woj bomb hits us today. Explodes straight in our face. Not a precious propaganda. A Woj bomb that breaks down this trade. It's popping up on the screen here now. Eric Bledsoe, Justice Winslow, and Keon Johnson. In other words, a whole lot of garbage to the LA Clippers for not only Norman Powell, but also Robert Covington, who is a guy that's a 3-and-D wing player that, if you don't know, he plays great defense. He's long. He's played center for the Houston Rockets at one point, right? He's versatile. He's having a bit of a down year on a trash Portland Trailblazers team, but they gave up 2 elite role players, especially Norman Powell's elite. Robert Covington, when he's playing well, he's elite. Gave that up for Eric Bledsoe's horrific contract. Horrific, right? Gave him up for that. For Justice Winslow, who's been a bench warmer on this LA Clippers team. And Keon Johnson. Who even is Keon Johnson? No one knows. And a second-round pick. What is that offer? What is that? If I was Portland, I get it. The reason they made this deal is because they wanted to get under the tax, give up some salary. They gave Norman Powell a big contract. Covington's on some big money, right? They wanted to alleviate some salary, get under the luxury tax. But you got back nothing. You got back nothing for a guy that is averaging 19 points per game, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, shooting 40% from the 3-point line, 46% from the field. You got nothing back at all for this man. Zero, zip, nada. And then the Toronto Raptors have a guy that expires this season. Eric Bledsoe, I believe he has 1 extra year on his deal. I was too frustrated to even check. But even regardless, we have a guy that's on an expiring deal to get off some money. Portland, so you can have your cap flexibility later on. We have picks that aren't in the second round. We have young guys. We have role players. We have whatever the heck you want outside of our core guys. And we couldn't acquire Norman Powell and Robert Covington. We couldn't get this deal done for a Goran Dragic, Malachi Flynn, and a first-round pick. We couldn't, because that would have been perfect for this Toronto Raptors team. And people flame me, and I get it. We want to do the exciting trades, and sometimes we stretch things and stuff. But when I whip up the trade machine, people flame me for being too much of a homer, for getting frustrated and all that sort of stuff. But this deal, we could have easily outmatched this deal that the LA Clippers sent to them. And just imagine the Toronto Raptors. We've been saying it on recent podcasts. All the Raptors need is a couple guys off the bench that can score, be 3-and-D guys that can fulfill the same defensive schemes, get you some buckets, be consistent, and give the starters a break. If we get a couple of those guys, we are in title contention. That might sound outrageous given the fact how we started the season, but we just beat the 1st seed. We just beat the 2nd seed. I've been saying this roster as constructed is a top 4 seed in the making, right? They're on their way. They're pushing their way through it. I think they're only a couple games back of it right now. We get those couple of role players to take the load off our starters. And 2 elite guys, I might add, in Norman Powell and Covington. I don't see any reason why this team couldn't make a deep playoff push. Even if they're not necessarily, they might be a little bit too young to be championship contenders. But to make a deep playoff push, I think they can outperform the Atlanta Hawks of last season, who made the Eastern Conference Finals, right? And we couldn't get it done. We couldn't get it done. Masai, we had to let the Clippers, like the salt in the wound is the LA Clippers getting this deal done. And I'm just excited. I'm just excited to see what happens, what the Raptors could potentially do over this deadline, because there's going to be a few teams out there selling, and we got to finesse. We got to acquire a couple guys off the bench that can do some stuff for this team, get our starters some help, get this team a bench so we can make a push. And we had an opportunity here. We fumbled the bag on it. We had an opportunity last season with Jared Allen when he was flipped to the Cavaliers for once again peanuts, right? We got to finesse some teams. We got to get some bench. We're buyers. We want to make a run, right? Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen, Messiah. I'm speaking into existence. So subscribe to Raptors Digest. If you guys want to get the latest news on Raptors stuff, potential targets, potential trades that go down, subscribe to the Raptors Digest. Check us out on Instagram, TikTok, to Twitter. And we're doing our giveaway because Khalil didn't claim his hoodie. So unless he claims it within the next hour or so, if you're subscribed, you get a chance to get a fire Raptors Digest custom-made 101 hoodie. So if you want to be a part of that giveaway, definitely do it. And I heard the people are saying that if you download the Javelin Sports app, you get extra luck for it. But that is what it is. Anyways, enough of me rambling. You guys are the best. I'm signing out. Cheers.